Can I never be on time for the live? What am I asking for? Not to be late to my own show? Why do people always answer in last minute? The last minute. Anyway, I've been looking and asking people about the situation with the Kurds, and I hope you guys can hear me. Hello, everybody. By the way, I have to say that watching Trump's speech, I feel like he and I could be very good friends. I think we should be, actually. I think there is a lot of logic there that we actually share. So that's a thing. That's a thing. That's my conclusion from watching his speech today, saying that I don't get it though. Like, I don't get this modern concept of you go to war, get attacked, you go to war, you right, somebody declares you're their enemy, and you win the war and you get nothing out of it. Is it too much to ask? Like, you win, so you get something? Is it too much to ask? Like, you win, so you get the, like, you know, the loot, something. Something. Why is it normal to just attack people, and then you have to invest in military, invest in everything, and then once you finally, let's say clear, like hopefully bimera b'yameinu, as fast as possible, clear Hezbollah out of Lebanon, then what? We get nothing out of it. Lebanon is like, oh, well, bye, go now. It's like, and they dare to cry. That I cannot stand them. Cannot. And it's like, no, why? Why do you deserve not to be punished? I dislike it. I just dislike it, you know? Yes, exactly. You want a Lamborghini? I want the gas fields, honestly. Especially since they're ours anyway. I don't know what the Yair Lapid, this retarded one single brain-celled person, thought to himself when he signed this water agreement with Lebanon. I don't like Netanyahu. I think Yair Lapid is the person I used to explain to the world that the Jews are also very stupid. Like, and this person was like, I know he was the prime minister for about 2 days, but the fact that people vote for him means that we have an issue here in Israel, which is not high IQ. Let me just put it like that. Yeah, I saw there is a video like that. Happy Easter, everybody. Anyway, that's what I have to say. Trump and I agree on that, and I passionately agree on that point specifically. I'm just so tired of we waste money, we go to war, and then we just wait. Like, why? Like, here's the thing, like, you know, like the part of having like sovereignty is like control your population. If you cannot control your population, then clearly you don't deserve sovereignty. Anyway. Greg, Yair Lapid was a boxer and he got a lot of concoctions. So, is it really his fault that the brain juices moved around too much? Or is it those who voted for somebody who is clearly, you know, okay, let me tell you a story, okay? A story. I think I told it before, but my dad is a doctor. I mean, both of my parents are. But my dad is a cardiologist, and that means that a lot of people have heart issues, believe it or not, right? And then they come to him because like he's a big doctor. So a lot of people come to him to get their hearts checked, and sometimes they talk because the doctor is also a psychologist, and they share their pains, and then they share these pains with me. And one of these people who came to my dad for a checkup, how do I say it? How do I not incarnate the sources? I mean, they talked. I mean, I think doctors are only obligated not to share like health knowledge, right? Crunch, you are saying that what you're saying is true, but you get concoctions when you fight with men and when you are a certain weight, not when you're lightweight. So anyway, that's my defense to myself. Shalom, shalom, everybody. Come, join in, join in, join in. I know it's late, I cannot complain. All right, so anyway, one of the people that came to my dad, came for a checkup, was somebody who worked with Yair Lapid. And you know, the bureaucracy people, right? They work with every government. Like they present data and they ask that minister, hey, what do you want to do with the data? So this guy said, listen, I worked with everyone from the leftists to the right wing to the religious, everyone. And I present the same data, like, you know, data every time and explain what the numbers mean and what it means about our the situation in the country and everything like that. And he said that Yair Lapid was the first time he didn't manage to explain what is the situation. Like he said, no matter how much we explained or simplified the statistics, the data, what he understood was the complete opposite of what needed to be understood. Like the complete opposite of the data, that's what he understood. And then that's what he came out to the public with, saying, oh, the situation is like this and like that. And then they would be like, oh, that's the exact opposite. Like this, you no, 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 no. And he said, here is the thing, right? This guy said, I worked with every single party in the Israeli parliament, all of them, the craziest leftist to the craziest orthodox, to the most right wing, to the most centrist, right? Yair Lapid was one of a kind. This is how I would say, like he is one of a kind. Everybody else managed to grasp concepts. He could not. And now, like, listen, it's fun. It's good to see like somebody who is dyslexic, doesn't know how to learn and cannot read data. I understand it's very nice to see him thrive and succeed, but not when you need to lead. It's like it's nice, okay? But he's literally exactly what the Simpson. Did you guys watch the Simpson movies? There is a line there which is my favorite to quote, which is, I was elected to lead, not to read. That's his situation, basically. I was like, but sometimes like apparently you do need to understand like the situation in front of you to know what to do next. Anyway, he in his 2 days in office as a prime minister managed to do so much damage. And one of the damages was to sign an agreement with Lebanon that took away territorial waters from Israel that also were, I think they have gas fields. To say the least, that agreement was broken, so it doesn't hold anymore anyway. It doesn't hold water anymore. So at least for the minimum compensation should be fixing that. But it's like right now, it's not that smart to develop any energy related infrastructure in the Middle East because we're in a situation where they get targeted a lot. So I mean, not now, but it's gonna be tomorrow. Tomorrow will come. The sun will rise again. For Iran, maybe it will be a little bit hidden. I thought it was Bennett that was prime minister. No, so actually it was when it was in the rotation. You remember they had a rotation. It was under Yair Lapid, from what I remember. So no, it was like the couple of days after Bennett. Yeah, I mean, not that I have much nice to say about Bennett, but they were prime ministers together, so I guess you can blame Bennett as well. I think it's fair. I think we can agree on both. When there is a dilemma, for example, should I buy this purse or that purse? The answer is both. And in this case, the answer is both as well. Bennett and Yair Lapid, they can both go and shove it somewhere behind the scenes where I cannot see them. Actually, I don't want to see them at all. That would be wonderful. But to be honest, compared to the Democrats right now, at least Yair Lapid is supporting the war, right? And not making, like, not Chuck Schumer, who was advocating for America attacking Iran for years and years and years and years. And once Trump, and now suddenly I forgot everything he stood for. Because, like, it's more important to go against Trump than to defend the value, like the what America needs. So to be honest, you can always look at the Democrats and understand that there is worse than Yair Lapid. And to be honest, he's just slow, right? He's not the brightest, but he's not drunk like Kamala Harris. Like, he says things that, like, and he speaks coherently. It just that it's not too smart, right? It's like, it's not like he's looking intoxicated, at least from what I think. Mm. Oh, thank you so much, Liz. Lies destroy lives. To try too hard to make people good is one way to make them worse. The only way to make them good is to be good. George MacDonald, Iranians see through the hypocrisy of their religious leaders. Yeah. Mm, I don't know. Or you need to very good PR campaigns. For example, um, Mother Teresa. I've heard she was an awful person, and yet she is known as a saint. You know, Mother Teresa. Like, information I heard about her, actually, she was an awful. Another person like that is like Angelina Jolie, but she exposed herself in her lifetime, unlike Mother Teresa. She that went around and, like, did a lot of charity work and brought, like, found children to take from different places in Africa. And now we all know that she was just paid by, she was just a criminal all along. So I don't know, for some time it looked like she's a good person. Bookmouse, you're worrying about Lashon Hara. It's not Lashon Hara. It's Lashon HaEmet. That's it. That's a way to look at it. All right, you guys, what do you want to do first? Do you want to talk about the Kurds? Do you want to talk about the rescue mission, or should we watch and react to the based speech that Trump given? I think we should start with Trump, because that kind of has everything in it. Somebody said, okay, talk about the Kurds. So that Kurds is, I talk about the Kurds, and the long story short is that it's pretty complex situation. And wait, let me. One second, one more update about the Kurds. I mean, did you guys watch? Do you guys watch Armin and Goldie Gamari? Because the way they opened up their mouths on the Kurds today really bothered me. I'm not gonna lie. Because they said the very interesting sentence saying that Kurdistan is just as fake as Palestine, which is, first of all, like, There is nothing as fake as Palestine. Even Narnia is more real than Palestine. But the Kurds are real people. Like they have their own language. There is Kurdish. There isn't Palestinian. There isn't a Palestinian language to begin with. It's just like the way I don't understand why. Why would they open their mouth this way? I just lies destroy lives. Thank you. Bad people do not make this quote false. To try too hard to make people good is one way to make them worse. I love that you quoted it again so that I would think about it. To try too hard to make people good is one way to make them worse. The only way to make good is to be good. So the question is there an example of people that were made good by people who are not good, just had a good PR campaign? Because I think that happens. I think I forgot to put mascara on. Just I noticed right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if like there are bad like do I think the Kurds are active in this war already? For sure they are being bombed by Iran. They are being bombed by Iran like crazy. Kurdistan is. And when it comes to like actively participating, I'm hearing a lot of different reports. So my guess is that the Kurds are free-spirited people, and each one of them does whatever they want. So some are active, some are just annoyed because they get bombed, and some are like, I don't know. So they are like the Iranian Kurds are also like, you know, under the IRGC control, and it's not like they like them. So Iran is bombing all their friends. Well, the Kurds are not their friends, honestly. They're not really their friends, but I mean, and Arabs are also not their friends. Like historically, they're not their friends. Arabs are even more or less of a friends to them than the Kurds are. Yeah, you can claim that the Kurds and Persians are cousins, but I don't think you can claim that the Arabs and Kurds are friends at all. There is a deep-rooted dislike between the people. You're saying that Mother Teresa is not villainous. I don't know. I don't care. Another person, by the way, like Queen Victoria, not like also she wasn't like perfectly perfect. Aren't the Kurds keeping weapons meant for the Iranian people because Americans put them in the back? So that's difficult to say. Like they wouldn't reveal which group is that, right? They said like it's a certain group. Which one is it? Iranian like, and the most Iranian like most Kurds deny getting any weapons, and a lot of people like you know, if you talk to the people that just Kurds and like what weapons, what are you talking about? So they have a lot of different groups. So you're saying YPJ? I think YPJ is the PKK as well. It's the communist ones. So they gave it to the YPJ. That's the ones that they gave it to. Because I didn't see anywhere that they actually wrote like who they gave it to. There's like the Kurds are not a monolith. Lies destroy lives. For like, it's not wrong to try and make people good. Good parents try to make their children good, but people who try too hard to make people good often make them worse. An example must be set. I agree. Example definitely helps, 100%. But to be honest, like I see the sentence. I'll just be super naughty and say that technically I cannot confirm or deny whether it's true or not. I do think that some people are they have genetic tendency. So sometimes people are just born good without seeing good around them at all. And I can tell you, like, I've heard of cases like that where a baby is born to a family that everybody around them are evil, including the family they are born into, and they are not. They're good. And so I guess that doesn't make sense because the sentence is like good parents, right? Like that. If okay, so if the child's if the child like natural inclination is to be bad, then a parent that try would try to correct them without like being good themselves, it wouldn't work. I don't know. Honestly, like it's complicated. Am I thinking too much about it? Yeah, I know that bothered me saying that the Kurds are like the Kurdistan is like Palestine. It's like that's not true at all. Like it's not true. It's so much not like it's not true. You cannot say that their identity was invented and was stolen from someone else. It's like right, they're not willing to fight. Some sentiment shared by Kurds of Turkey. It won't work against Iran. I understand as well. Yeah, a lot don't want to fight. You're saying Rebecca is not getting the point. Nothing she had said changes the truth with the quote. No, I'm just saying that I cannot like I don't know. I believe you. Was it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. The quote is too complicated for me right now. With everything um I have to think of right now. So that is that. But I don't know. I just the Kurds, like their situation is complicated. They have a lot of different groups, but honestly, like even like when Israel was founded, a lot of like people don't know that we had communist groups. We had like Altalena, we had groups fighting also each other. Like there's like some were more extreme, less extreme. It's like I just dislike it because I don't like the Kurds, like, yeah, you can say that there is a group of them that are communists, but I don't know any of them that are actually like jihadists per se. And like my friend, like my Kurds, like, yeah, we have communists, we like, and we don't like them. She doesn't like communism, but we don't like, but she's like, we don't have Islamists though. It's not like I know of any groups or Kurdish groups that are Islamist. So they were like the communists were fighting against ISIS. Can you trust communists? Probably not. And the other thing that bothers me is because with the Kurds that they are farther away, it's harder to know. But there was something similar with the Druze, because if you guys remember when so the Druze are also a nation, right? There are people, they speak Arabic, but they have their own religion and they are split between, like this, they are split in the Middle East. So it's mainly Lebanon and Syria and Israel, and in Jordan they are cryptic. They have to be, they keep their Druze identity secret. So we don't know like about the Jordanians much, but the ones that are out and about and like are Druze that we can point to is are the are the Lebanese, Syrian, and Israeli. Now I understand, right? Here's the thing that bothered me about what I think Armin or Goldie said. They said a sentence sounding like Iranian Kurds are Iranian and don't use the word Kurds. And I thought like Israeli Druze are Israeli, but I wouldn't take the Druze element away from them. Like I wouldn't say like they are also Druze. They care about their Druze relatives in Syria and Lebanon, and that's okay and it's understood. Like a real big reason like Israel cares about the Druze in Syria is because of Israeli Druze, right? It's because it's like Druze are loyal citizens of Israel, so we care about the Druze in Syria and the Druze in Lebanon. And it's like we don't say, oh, the Druze are Israeli. They cannot be Druze. They're Druze. There's like, it doesn't make them less loyal to Israel. They are very loyal to Israel. There is no doubt in that. And it's like, and I understand this thing, right? It's like, okay, and even Israel had this talk about the Golan Druze, because there was, if you guys watched my video that I made on the Druze, right, where it's like it's a very good video where I actually show that that there was a proposal made by an Israeli guy, Igal Alon, who said, how about the Golan Druze, right? The Druze, like the part that is now Israel, right? Part of that part, like, and this way the Druze, they can have their own country, and Israel would give up the Druze, like the territory that Druze are at in Israel, like the Golan, and let them have their own country. It was an actual proposal, right? Something an Israeli said, like, okay, they are a group. Let's like, so, but what I'm saying is from 67, okay? Like they don't, the right now, like the favorite proposition is that that Sweden would be part of Israel if you actually ask the Druze. It's not that they want to be, right? It's not like the Druze in Israel want to separate from Israel. It's like, it's not an option that they want. But for years, they shouted that they want to be like in part of Syria, like, or whatever, because it's like, because they were actually separated from the, like they put in, suddenly they had a fence between them. And also plus they knew that like if they say anything about not being Syrian or speak too much, then their siblings across the border would be slaughtered, which is a real possibility in the Middle East. So it was like, it's like that's not 1,400 years ago. That's like more like 2,400 years ago. Sorry, I just saw that and it was like it popped. I was like, I'm like, change the 1 to 2 and you got it. The world was so much better years ago. Persians, India, China, not communists, then used to trade and be when we're the richest in the world, and then came Islam. Let's not be like too. Not, I mean, the Romans were also not amazing. Like, I don't know, like I don't know. It took time, morality, technology, the technological development is tied to moral development. So it's not like everywhere was like, it's not tied to, but it's like, there is also moral development. I wouldn't prettify the past too much. Things weren't, but yeah, but here's the thing, like this time would come back. This time would come back. You're saying lies destroy lives. Thank you. I used to think communism would work if you had the right leadership. Then I read a little book called Why Nazism Was Socialism and Why Socialism is Totalitarian by Joe Reisman. That cured me. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I'm glad to hear that you're cured and that you are. Yeah, I mean, we all have idealistic thoughts until reality like slaps us in the face. And also, like, I made a video like why I left the left, which is basically a joke because I was never on the left ever. But what I'm actually claiming there is that we are born communistic because family structure is communism. Babies do what they can and get what they need because that's common. Like that's actually common. A family, and it's like if you are born into a family that doesn't like work with this principle, then I mean it's kind of, if one child needs more help with math, for example, or whatever, more tutoring, then they're gonna get more, more resources if they need it. It's like there is a lot of communism kind of logic, communistic logic that is in a family unit, right? So we all have that structure in mind naturally. So when I say like why I left the left video or whatever I named it, I I was never on the left for the record. I was never on the left, but technically speaking, unless you count like a couple of leftist thoughts that I had when I was like 6 years old, you know. Mm. Rebecca, it's simple. So communism, the way I was taught, the communism that was taught in Russia is that you contribute what you can and you get what you need, right? It's not like that we need to eat the same. Is that you need to get the amount of food that you need to sustain yourself, right? So that's the thing. So it's so every child like helps the family as much as they can, and then they get fed and treat they get the resources that they need. Here's an easy example, right? There is somebody in your family that needs special accommodation, right? Aren't they? Don't you see that like when there is a child with special needs, like in a family, then the siblings are also working harder to help this child specifically, right? And it's not that because they're like, it's not that this child is more productive or anything. So like this is what we are born into. I'm not talking about like older siblings. I'm not talking about the family unit that is already like everybody is adults. I'm talking about, this is the children in what you are exposed to as a child is communism in a sense. Yeah, exactly. And also, let's be honest, a lot of time it's very tyrannical as well. Do I think a household is not authoritarian and tyrannical? It's more tyrannical and authoritarian usually than it is like, not saying it's not true. Lies destroy lives. The best orange cases get ahead. In a communist state, the system discourages honesty and hard work. See, a lot of families would say that this is exactly how you get ahead. Well, first of all, like let's be honest, when you have a fight with your sibling, right? Who gets how are you like who gets the favorable judgment? The one that cases more like the ass of the judge, which are the parents, right? Let's be honest. And for most part, like the most families are dysfunctional because like there is a once in 100 or like where cases where communism is actually good. There you go. You see all this favorite. Yes, exactly. This is not a democracy, says every parent to every child since the invention of democracy. And it makes sense that it wouldn't be, honestly. Like, uh, when it's democracy, then it's stand from rules, right? Those who is shouting the hard like the loudest are the ones that are in control. So it's like however you dress it, it's really hard to say that what you are not that the automatic structure that is built into your brain is not communism, because most of us are born into because as babies. Like what are you, a productive member of society? Not exactly. Though, so you suffer the tyranny but also like the benefits that comes with communism, just the way it is. Which is like Terra firma. Democracy is bullshit. Always elite deciding what goes on and what direction. Communism, capitalism, socialism. Not exactly. No. No. Because there is a reason why the Second Amendment of the Constitution is there, right? The rights to bear arms, because this is how you get actual democracy. So you get actual democracy when people know what the law is, and because because the law is it's like done in there are principles that the community can police, and also an individual can police, because there is the reason, for example, why in Judaism they keep minority opinions. They never delete minority opinions, which is one of the biggest differences I feel there is between Jews and Persians that I say culturally right now, because their claim is, okay, so most Kurds in Iran want to be Iranians. So they would say stop voicing those who are separatists. But in Judaism, minority opinions are never erased. So Judaism is like, this is the minority opinion. And even if it's just one person who thought this way, it's an opinion that is recorded and is valid and is brought on as a caveat. And sometimes over time, a minority opinion that was a real minority opinion, one person that suggested that, is actually proven to be right. So sometimes the minority opinion becomes the majority opinion later on, century, millennium later, but whatever. Judaism is a long-lived system. So this is why it's also very convenient for those who want to bash Judaism to bring minority opinions that are controversial as, oh, you see what our rabbis are saying? Well, because we believe in radical freedom of speech, where if somebody says something that is extreme and nobody agrees with him, that opinion is not, it's not erased, first of all, even if it never, a lot of those minority opinions were minority opinions when they were written, and they were minority opinions in every little bit of time frame that you can choose. They can choose for every every epsilon there is a delta as small as you want, where the minority opinion there is still not that it's still the minority opinion. But it's still there. So lies destroy life. Thank you for. Can you read? You can read Reisman's book on an hour. There are no benefits to communistic state. It is totalitarian by nature. Did I say there are benefits? I don't think there are any benefits. I'm just saying that we need to teach people not to be communistic. Even the Talmud says, do you guys want a Talmudic lesson right now? We were supposed to talk about Iran and the Kurds and everything like that, but I think it's good to learn. Okay? So the Talmud describes it like that. Communism, believe it or not, the principle of communism is written in the Talmud. And what does it say? Who believes in communism? The simple folk. Those who are uneducated, they believe in communism. It's default. They don't know anything about economy. They were not educated. So their default understanding is communism, believe it or not. So the Talmud noticed that. Not only the Talmud noticed that, Aristotle noticed that. It's the default inclination of an uneducated person. This is why communism is an idea that's easily sold to stupid little children, because it's naturally there. The inclination is there. It's the only reason, right, is that because for the majority of our lifetime, we live in very small groups. when one member, like where you can defeat the communistic authoritarian mentality in a communistic society when it's 50 people and the entirety of the 50 people know you personally, and they will miss you a lot if you go like screw you and go away, right, and run away from the group, which is always an option. So it's like, okay, so you're like, and this is why we get guilt tripping. This is how we get the amazing natural art of being guilt tripping in a family, right? It's like, oh, you're gonna leave me here alone. Oh, so sad, right? Guilt tripping. And that is the other mechanism of communism, of course, right? I was like pretending to be like vulnerable and weak and guilt tripping. It works when it's like a 50 people, which when everybody is like, okay, fine. Because you need like a system where like would be somebody, like if you're actually weak, like you need to have like a biological mechanism where if somebody is weak in the moment, like there would be some way to keep him in the group, So you're saying secularism is 100% better than theocracy or communism. Secularism is not a system. So, and theocracy is also not a system. So, and yes, don't forget to smash the like button, and it's 100% free. So I don't know. Do I think communism is good? No, not at all. Not at all. But that just because this is our natural tendency as stupid humans, we have a lot of tendencies we need to fight against in nature. This is why we say "Petach lecha rovetz," right? This is like the thing. It's like, and you need to control your tendency to choose to do wrong, right? In this story of Adam and Eve, you must govern your tendency to do wrong. Torah, here's this, there is not, somebody says Torah theocracy is the best. No, there is no Torah theocracy. Torah is a complex book that doesn't even, like, that has different, it's a book that rewards people who fight for their principles. So if somebody wants to apply a certain view of the world, they can choose a certain part of the Torah. Even the Torah doesn't even have one version of like a creation story between man and woman. You can the Torah is a point to start talking. But here's the thing. The Torah is a must know as far as I'm concerned. You're saying theocracy is no, because you. Also, I once checked, right? So even here's the thing, right? Theocracy of Judaism. I was like, one of the debates I found amusing is rabbis debating what kind of government is fits the Jewish system. So one was like, oh, a government of rabbis. Actually, I think the most, and I think it's kind of correct, anarchy is the anarchy that is based on the law, like on the 10 Commandments, basically, is the closest version of what's in the Torah, anarchies. So, but it's not like, but then it's like you have to show up when there is an existential war on your own accord, and nobody, like, a government of rabbis is actually it's not biblical. It's not biblical. It's antithetical to Bible. But do you think there wouldn't be a corrupt rabbi who would claim this is what is this is the Jewish way to do things? It's like it's based on nothing. But somebody would claim it, believe me. It's not like, you know, it's like, and they would find like somewhere something like, you guys, you can read it to Deuteronomy if you want to. What happened in Rome? No, I didn't. Something happened in Rome. Did the Pope admit he is gay or something finally, or what? I mean, they're all gay. Oh, there are massive strikes on Iran. Let me show you. Let's go through. Let's see what's happening in the world today. Sorry. I just that the Pope is. Oh, it's something is very weird with the Catholic Church. It's like very not church-like. Very not Christian, if you ask me. The way it is. Ew, I'm not gonna say that. No, Nandesh, don't share news like that. I don't wanna know. Allow me to keep some of my innocence, okay? I don't want to know everything about humanity. Look at Iran today. After that, and then, okay, it's just random, by the way. What is the Je confirm? I confirm. All my contacts in Iran are saying exactly the same thing. They say what? What is it? The Iranian people, when they don't hear bombs go up, they are upset. They want to hear bombs. Okay, that makes sense. Because they want to be free. Yeah, well, of course. I don't think the Pope is a secret Muslim. I hope not. I don't know anymore, believe me. Why am I seeing these random things? We need to see something that is actually valuable. Okay, you know what? Let me put something interesting for you to watch. I have a playlist of things I wanted to share. I also want you guys to know Speak the Truth. So he spoke about like how the operation actually went and what he's suspecting of. But he showed a lot of things on a map when he explained it, and I was just listening. So, but I think I want to hear what Pete Hexeth had to say first about it. Okay. So let's watch this. Very important.
Leave no American behind. We don't do it. Within hours, our armed forces deployed 21 military to do this because you send going combat searches.
Oh, it's only.
You would call it a search.
Okay, so it's just okay.
Thank you very much.
I love that. So this is why do Catholics need the Pope and Protestants don't go? So funnily enough, a more complicated question would be about Orthodox Christianity versus the Catholics, because the Protestants are they are rebellious against the Christian, like the Catholic Church, because because what they happened is that the priests do what the Pope did recently, right? You remember that he quoted Isaiah while trying to say that it is not okay to go to war because then God would not accept your prayers, but actually God wouldn't accept your prayers if you don't protect the orphans and the widows, which is not at all not going to war. Like that, like it's like he corrupted everything that is around it, right? So this is what the Pope did. So that this is what the priests would do, right? And then we had the printing press, and people learned how to read, and they were like, oh my God, there is no, like, what are you talking about? Like, everything you're saying is not written in the book. So this is how Protestants came to be. So if you want like a more complicated question, is like the Orthodox versus the Catholic.
It's a great honor to be with you, and happy Easter. We had a great Easter. This is one of our better Easters, I think, in a lot of different ways. I can say militarily, it's been one of the best. So, good afternoon. We have quite a bit to discuss. We'll go into pretty good detail. And we have the people that are most involved. We'll give you exactitude. And we're here today to celebrate the success of one of the largest, most complex, most harrowing combat searches. I guess you would call it a search and rescue mission ever attempted by the military. Generally, when planes are knocked down in war, especially when you're fighting a strong group, an evil group, you can't really do this because you send.
I just want to say, like, for those who think like that, like me, I was like talking shit about Catholics or not. For the record, like one thing Catholics have, like, which is an advantage, is like a proper structure. And second, just because you can read doesn't mean you can understand what you're reading as well. So I love that somebody explains the Orthodox versus Catholic as well.
200 men to pick up one, and it's something that's usually not attempted as much as you want to attempt. And bad things happen to that one or two. And in this case, we did two, and might not have been attempted before, but we did. And we had great talent. We got a little luck too, I would say. And we were helped by a lot of people, a lot of great people. And it was an honor to be involved with it. It's very historic. This is a rescue that's very historic. It'll go down in the books. Late Thursday night, an American F-15 fighter jet went down deep inside enemy territory in Iran while participating in Operation Epic Fury, where we're doing unbelievably well, well at a level that nobody's ever seen before. The entire country can be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow night. Both members of the crew ejected from the aircraft and landed.
I love how he just inserts those very dramatic sentences. It's like they might get obliterated, and that night might be tomorrow night. And then, anyway, continues with the rescue mission. Do you guys want to hear it faster? Do you want me to wrap up the pace? Let me know. And I put my face away because like my computer is making noises that say that like he thinks I'm torturing it and making it work too hard. So just, you know, that's why I remove myself. So. Okay, so yeah, everybody wants to speed it up. Okay, let's try 1.5 and then see how it goes.
Alive. On Iranian soil, I immediately was asked to make a decision. I ordered the U.S. Armed Forces to do whatever was necessary to bring our brave warriors back home. A risky decision because we could have ended up with 100 dead as opposed to 1 or 2. It's a hard decision to make. But in the United States military, we leave no American behind. We don't do it. Within hours, our armed forces deployed 21 military aircraft into hostile airspace, many flying at very low altitude, being shot by bullets. You bring rifles into play when you're going that low, but there are also certain advantages. And in broad daylight over Iran for 7 hours, at times facing very, very heavy enemy fire. We have a helicopter that's got a lot of bullets in it. It's amazing. We just realized how good those weapons are. Our machines are. Nobody has the equipment that we have, and nobody has the military that we have. Not even close. The most powerful military anywhere in the world by far. The flight crews and warfighters aboard those aircraft took extraordinary risks to rescue their fellow service members. This first wave of search and rescue forces successfully located the pilot of the F-15, and he was extracted from enemy territory by an HH-60 Jolly Green II helicopter. Fabulous machine as our warriors faced gunfire at very close range. It's amazing that when you look at the machinery, what happened, that nobody was even injured. Meanwhile, the second crew member, a weapons system officer, highly respected colonel, had landed a significant distance away from the pilot. When you're going at those speeds, even if you go out 2 or 3 seconds later, it's miles and miles away because you're going fast.
Greg is completely right. I really do need a new computer, so please do send some money. I really do need a new computer. I really do. And and everybody knows like the China holds all the rare earth metals, so and we're just like we're against China right now, so it's like help. Thank you. And write down this is for computer, so I can set it aside until I have enough money to properly stream. Yes, thank you.
He was injured quite badly and stranded in an area teeming with terrorists from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps rough group, as well as besieged militia and local authorities. Many, on top of everything else, they told the communities actually within inside of Iran, the people of Iran, they were given a tremendous incentive to find this pilot. Despite the peril, the officer followed his training and climbed into the treacherous mountain terrain and started climbing toward a higher altitude, something they were trained to do in order to evade capture. They want to always go as far away from the site of the shoot down. You want to go as far away because they all head right to that site. You want to be as far away as you can. And he was injured, and he was an amazing thing. He scaled cliff faces, bleeding rather profusely, treated his own wounds, and contacted American forces to transmit his location. They have a very sophisticated beeper type apparatus that is on them at all times. And when they go out on these missions, they make sure they have lots of battery space and they're in good shape. And this one worked really well, amazingly, saved his life. We immediately mobilized a massive operation to retrieve him from the mountain holdout. And he kept going higher and higher. The mountain kept getting rougher and rougher and really very, very hard to find. The second rescue mission involved 155 aircraft, including 4 bombers, 64 fighters, 48 refueling tankers, 13 rescue aircraft, and more. We were bringing them all over, and a lot of it was subterfuge. We wanted to have them think he was in a different location because they had a vast military force out there. Thousands of people were looking. So we wanted them to look in different areas. So we were scattered all over like we were right on top of them. We had 7 different locations where they thought, and they were very confused. They said, well, wait a minute, they've got groups here, they've got groups there. It's an amazing thing. I was listening to these great people, these great generals. General Raisin Kane was amazing, and Pete Hegseth was amazing. But I listened to the whole thing. It was pretty amazing. So they had all these different sites where everybody thought he was located. We think we have him over there because they have 9 planes circling a little area that's 25 miles down the coast. So in a breathtaking show of skill and precision, lethality and force, America's military descended on the area, the real area, engaged the enemy, rescued the stranded officer, destroyed all threats, and exited Iranian territory while taking no casualties of any kind. The heroic F-15 weapons system officer had evaded capture on the ground in Iran for almost 48 hours. That's a long time when you're in tough shape and when you're bleeding. It's a long time. When we left, as you probably know, we had 2 large planes, pretty old planes. It carried a lot. We needed a lot more equipment going in than coming out, obviously, because going in, we needed to be able to scale mountains, and we had a lot of equipment. But the sand it was sandy, wet sand. So we thought there may be a problem taking off because of the weight of the plane. And then we also had all the men jumping back onto the planes, and they got pretty well bogged down. And we had a contingency plan, which was unbelievable, where lighter, faster aircraft came in, and they took them out. We blew up the old planes. We blew them up to smithereens because we had equipment on the planes that, frankly, we'd like to take, but I don't think it was worthwhile spending another 4 hours there taking it off. So we didn't want anybody to have. We have the best equipment anywhere in the world. We didn't want anybody examining our anti-aircraft and other equipment. So these were large planes that were old and pretty old, and we blew them up. And we had faster, lighter planes come in, and they were able to land on the sand. We needed the bigger planes because we had so much equipment that we needed. We took 3 helicopters over there, which were very strongly used, and couldn't have lived without them. They performed unbelievably well. And if you'd see it, you wouldn't believe it. They came off the plane, and these guys had them. The rotors were off. They rebuilt these helicopters in less than 10 minutes, and that was one of the more amazing things. These are helicopters, small, unbelievably powerful, but small, very small, so it can get into certain areas. And they got them off the plane, and they rebuilt all 3 of them in a matter of I would say less than 10 minutes. It's pretty amazing what the genius of these people. Who would think that? You'd think it would take 5 days to build them. And in some companies, it would take 5 days, and they wouldn't do it well. But they served us well. As commander-in-chief, I never forget the extraordinary risk taken by the warriors that we send into battle and the genius. I mean, think of it, having a contingency of 3 planes waiting because we think the sand is so bad that we probably won't be able to take off. And the planes really got bogged. This was not much of a runway.
Like this part sounds so crazy to me, honestly. Like that they got stuck in the mud or the sand. Thank you so much, Lies. Don't destroy lives. The best. Wait, no, that's not the one here. The laws God gave Israel are good, but Gentiles do not have to follow those laws. Unlike Muslims who try to force Sharia on everyone, I am Christian. So most of the laws are local. Not even Jews who live outside of Israel can follow them. So it's like there are laws that there is an expectation for everyone to follow. But like there are a lot of things that are like have to do with the geography and like our traditions, our customs. It's not, you is you do you, we do us, but there are certain principles that should be shared with all.
This was a farm, not a runway. It's a farm, but it did the trick. But to have a contingency as opposed to having to wait 2 days, can you imagine? Right in the middle, this was central. This was right, you would call it central casting if you were doing a movie for location. And probably the toughest area of Iran where we'd be sitting there. So these planes came in, those pilots came in so fast and so quick and got out of there. Everybody got aboard and just got 15-minute intervals. One load out, one load out, one load out. It happened. And we were watching and we said, that's amazing. In many ways, I was almost more impressed by the contingency that we had than the fact that, we would have had a runway or decent soil, but it was an amazing thing. But we thank God for every single one of them and the talent. The genius is not even talent, it's genius. It's the whole ball game, every one of them. Now, if you look at what we did with Maduro, we went into a military compound, a massive, with thousands and thousands of soldiers, and within a matter of minutes, and he lived behind iron doors. There were steel doors, broke them down so quickly, and within almost minutes, he was in the back of these planes. It was a similar group, incredible. We have incredibly talented people. And if the time comes, we move heaven and earth to bring them home safely. We're going to bring our people home safely. I want to thank every member of the U.S. Armed Forces involved in these historic operations. They really were historic. It's just not something that's done. And you'd understand it, not that they don't want to do it, but when you're going into areas, when you look at these helicopters, when you look at the amount of bullets and everything else that they took, when you go into these areas, you don't come out like we came out. God was watching us. Well, it was the Easter, we were in the Easter territory, I guess, but God was watching us. It's amazing. Because when you look at the machinery, they took damage. It tells you, first thing I said is, these are unbelievable machines, how they flew back and not even much of a problem. But these 2 extraordinary rescues, because it was 2, and as you probably know, we didn't talk about the first one for an hour. Then somebody leaked something, which we'll hopefully find that leaker. We're looking very hard to find that leaker, and talked about there's somebody missing. They basically said that we have one and there's somebody missing. Well, they didn't know there was somebody missing until this leaker gave the information. So whoever it was, we think we'll be able to find it out because we're going to go to the media company that released it, and we're going to say, national security, give it up or go to jail. And we know who, and you know who we're talking about. There's some things you can't do because when they did that, all of a sudden, the entire country of Iran knew that there was a pilot that was somewhere on their land that was fighting for his life. And it also made it much more difficult for the pilots and for the people going in to search for him. All of a sudden, they know that there's somebody out there. They see all these planes coming in. It became a much more difficult operation because a leaker leaked.
Wait. He gives credit to God for the rescue, but not for the crash. Religious thinking. I mean, here, like, this is like, here's the thing, right? It's like, okay, so, I mean, God crashed the thing, and then he checked how the Americans would react, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's right to think too much about what God is. Like, it's a good, how does it say? Haha, the liquor would be punished with leakage. Maybe they would make them leak. Like, if the liquor keeps leaking, then maybe they can leak from different other places, holes maybe. I mean, I don't know. Some things are so crazy. You have to believe that there is a special force that would make things happen, right? It's like, oh, what are the chances? I'm like, whatever, YOLO, whatever. First consul, is there any legitimacy to the to theory this was cover-up operation to raid Natanz facility for uranium? Reference bricks exposed. Is there any legitimacy for that? That the thing was, the whole thing was a cover-up for Natna? I think they would have said that we got the uranium, wouldn't they? Why would they not say it if it's finished? I mean, yes, first consul is in the chat. I mean, everything can be. But then if it's like, it's like sometimes when I have to choose between two options, I choose the one that if I'm wrong, I'll be happier. So let's say like this was a rescue operation and I'm wrong, but then we discover it's like they actually got the uranium out, and I'll be happy, But if I believe like they got the uranium out and then it's just happened, we just discover like that it was a rescue mission, that would be disappointing. So I choose happiness, and like as a rescue operation, that's super cool, but like it would be even cooler if it's uranium extraction mission. So I choose to like be like, if I choose it to be a rescue, I'll be like, oh, this is so cool and enjoy the time now. And then if I discover that it's uranium, it's like even like it's even more exciting. So I get more excitement. That's my choice. Sometimes this is how you should decide.
That we have one, we've rescued one, but there's another one out there that we're trying to get. So actually, the country, Iran, put out a major notice, you all saw it, offering a very big award for anybody that captures the pilot. So in addition to a hostile, very talented, very good, very evil military, we had millions of people trying to get an award. So when you add that to it, but we have to find that leaker because that's a sick person. Probably didn't realize the extent of how bad it was. I can't imagine that person did, but we're going to find out. It's national security. And the person that did the story will go to jail if he doesn't say. And that doesn't last long. And I think everybody would understand it. They put this mission at great risk. They put that man at great risk, and they put the hundreds of people that went in looking for him, because everyone now knows that we're going in. Over the past 37 days, America's armed forces have carried out more than 10,000 combat flights over Iran, unheard of, striking more than 13,000 targets. The F-15 we lost last week was the first manned aircraft downed by the enemy in this entire operation, with thousands and thousands of flights. They got lucky. It was a lucky hit. Eventually you get lucky. But we got lucky too, because we got both of them back. But it's a record that is unparalleled in the history of military air operations. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. It's such an honor to be involved with it. We were up late at night, and then we were waiting for those contingent planes to come in, and we said, come on, let's go get in, because they're waiting out on this farm without a runway, with wet, crummy soil, sand, mostly sand, wet sand, and it eats planes alive. And we're waiting, and we're saying, I hope that one can land and take off. And they came in like magic, boom, 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 one after another. It was like genius. I'm so impressed by that, because we were a little concerned. We said, boy, if they don't get in and get up fast, we're sitting in them. And that's called Iran Prime, right, General? That's where the whole bet is. And here we are sitting there waiting for a plane, but they came in so fast and so hard, and these guys knew exactly what to do. Let's go, come on, get in, let's go. Pwah. They came one right after another, not at the same time. They don't want to come at the same time. They had to come right after each other. They didn't have any room. There was barely any room to land. Tiny little patch of very wet earth and sand. So I'm so proud of the people that I have standing up here with me, and many others that work. I mean, so many. Steve Witkoff's over here. He's doing fantastically. Jared Kushner. But the people that are here, the job they did is amazing. And I think I'm going to introduce the head of the CIA, and he is a man he's central casting, okay? If we cast a movie, he's going to play the head of the CIA. He's one of the few. John Ratcliffe, he did a phenomenal job that night. He did something that I don't know if you want to talk about it. If you want, you can. I'm not sure you're supposed to. I'm not going to talk about it. But the CIA was very responsible for finding this little speck. It's like they used an expression on one of the shows. A general was talking about, it's like finding a needle in a haystack, finding this pilot. And the CIA was unbelievable. And you may, if you can, you'll talk. It might be classified, in which case.
Does anyone know which media channel? Well, like what media, who was the first to actually like tell this news? Like what country's media? Where? Like who? Like you're saying somebody leaked to the media, but which country? Who was the first to report on it? Do you guys know? Oh, you're saying CNN, I believe, or ABC. That's an interesting, that's interesting. Well, if it's CNN or ABC, like, would you really expect them to not go against American interests? It's like what they do. Might have Al Jazeera. Yeah.
I'd have to put him in jail if he talks about it, and I don't want to put him in jail. He doesn't deserve that. So, John, do you want to say a few words? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a privilege to be here with you today to share what we can about this exceptional mission and to recognize the ingenuity and bravery of those who executed it, as well as the leadership and resolve of the president who ordered it. One thing that has been clear to me in this role is that the flawless military operations that the Department of War is known for are hostage to flawless intelligence. We saw that in the skies over Iran in Operation Midnight Hammer last summer. We witnessed it in Venezuela during Operation Absolute Resolve. We've seen it against the cartels in the Western Hemisphere, and we're seeing it every day in Operation Epic Fury, including this mission to rescue an aviator buried deep behind enemy lines. Because it is the unique tradition of the U.S. Armed Forces that we leave no man or woman behind, this was a no-fail mission. That was the spirit in which the president put us to work, and we were determined not to let him down or our airmen down. As an agency, the CIA possesses unique capabilities that only the president can deploy. Some of these capabilities fall under covert action authorities, and because covert means exactly that, I'm not going to be able to tell you everything that you want to know. At the president's direction, we deployed both human assets and exquisite technologies that no other intelligence service in the world possesses to a daunting challenge, comparable to hunting for a single grain of sand in the middle of a desert. This was also a race against the clock.
Yeah, actually,
that's
literally what it was.
While at the same time, keeping our enemies.
Do you guys, is the stream okay for you all? Because my computer is like stuck. So I'm wondering if you feel like it's smooth for you all or not. Or is it just robotic? Yeah. Okay, you guys. Okay, so it's okay. Awesome. Let's continue.
Directed. For that reason, in addition to the human and technical assets deployed by the president to find our airmen, CIA executed a deception campaign to confuse the Iranians who were
For the record, I didn't watch it, so I'm just watching it with you all.
We achieved our primary objective by finding and providing confirmation that one of America's best and bravest was alive and concealed in a mountain crevice, still invisible to the enemy, but not to the CIA. That confirmation was relayed.
Somebody's saying that the CIA is not going to give props to Israel. I think Israel actively doesn't want to get the props. That's how it sounds to me. Like whatever Israeli involvement was, it seems like they. I feel like yeah, like they don't want to reveal what they're doing.
By Secretary Hegseth to the president, and the operation quickly moved to the execution phase. Following the successful exfiltration on Saturday night, our intelligence reflects that the Iranians were embarrassed and ultimately humiliated by the success of this audacious rescue mission. When the president asked me to lead the CIA, he made it clear, get back to basics, no politics.
Like they were embarrassed by it? Like, I mean, I don't know. With everything they have to be embarrassed about, that's what they got embarrassed for. I mean, they did publish a photo with like underwear, so maybe that's why they felt embarrassed.
No agendas. Tackle the hardest problems and execute the toughest missions. This president is about results. And now that's what his CIA is about too. The professionals at the agency and at the Department of War deserve immense credit for their flawless execution during this daring mission. Their skill, creativity, and courage are unmatched on the battlefield wherever they step. But none of that matters. And all of that is wasted without a president with the political courage to put them into action. Mr. President, I've had the privilege of seeing you act with political courage in the best interest of the United States up close on a daily basis, and I'm grateful that this successful mission has given the American people a window into that as well. The Secretary and Chairman will tell you that our service members' confidence is boosted by a Commander-in-Chief who has their back the same way they have yours. And I know that the confidence of CIA's officers is boosted by the knowledge that their work is informing a president who's not afraid to make the hardest decisions when the stakes are highest. And to the American people, your confidence should be boosted by knowing that the security of the nation is in the hands of a president who's willing to take on problems that have confounded both sides of the political aisle for nearly half a century. It is an honor to serve under a leader who just proved that you can believe him when he says, no matter what, we will leave no one behind. We will come for you. Thank you.
Amen.
Well, John, thank you for the collaboration with the CIA as well. Incredible.
By the way, just so you know, like in Israeli discussions, he is not referred to as Pete Hegseth. People just call him this the hot guy from the White House. the cute guy.
Partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Americans, and especially the brave warriors in our armed forces, over this Easter weekend, the United States military has once again proved why we possess the greatest fighting force the world has ever known. In 2 extraordinary combat search and rescue operations deep inside enemy territory in Iran, our warriors executed missions of breathtaking skill, courage, and precision. When our warriors are unleashed, as this president has allowed them to be, they are unstoppable. When American airmen were down behind enemy lines, our forces and our president did not hesitate. Special operators supported by elite air crews and intelligence professionals moved swiftly and decisively into treacherous mountain terrain under the constant threat of Iranian forces closing in. Ultimately, it was an impotent Iranian threat. And today, as the CIA director mentioned, Iran's military, and we know this, is embarrassed and humiliated, and they should be. Now, these are not routine operations. They were high-risk, high-stakes missions conducted in the heart of...
I mean, I think he's saying something very important, but Peter, like he's saying he's cute. Well, compared to the average White House member, yes, it's all relative, you know. It's like compared to what you're used to seeing. And he got tattoos, and there are photos of him like shirtless, topless, and he's like, you know, works out. So, you know, it's not what usually you see in politics.
Enemy territory. This was not just barely into Iran, this was deep into Iran, involving coordinated strikes to suppress threats, deception tactics to protect our teams, and full synchronization across air, ground, and special operations. The Iranians are still asking themselves right now, how did the Americans do this? One downed airman evaded capture for more than a day, scaling rugged ridges while hunted by the enemy. When he was finally able to activate his emergency transponder, his first message was simple, and it was powerful. He sent a message, God is good. In that moment of isolation and danger, his faith and fighting spirit shone through. You see, shot down on a Friday, Good Friday, hidden in a cave, a crevice, all of Saturday, and rescued on Sunday. Flown out of Iran as the sun was rising on Easter Sunday. A pilot reborn, all home and accounted for, a nation rejoicing. God is good. Despite incoming fire and unforgiving conditions, our troops brought every American home. No American lives were lost. We leave no man behind, and that is not luck. It's the result of unmatched training, superior technology, an unbreakable warrior ethos, and sheer American grit.
Yeah,
our special operators, pilots, and support crews performed with...
You guys, at what point do they say something interesting? I didn't watch it before, but where's the interesting part?
Near perfection under fire, and they were lethal. Just ask...
Actually, let me skip that. Let's go to Trump. And I want to kind of say what the Speak the Truth had to say about it.
I got to know General Kane in my first term because he was able to take out ISIS in 4 weeks instead of the 4-year projection that was given to me.
Is there Israel somewhere? I'm sorry, you guys. I got tired. I want to, like, there are more things I want to show you all, and I feel like I'm not gonna survive everything the way we are now. But I'm very curious, and the problem is, like, okay, this specific video was live, so I cannot see the transcript, and maybe there is a video somewhere with the transcript. Let's see, Trump. White House. See if there's somewhere with a transcript. The White House. Actually, Commentary here. Okay, the White House has a transcript. You guys, BRB, where are you going? No, no, are you leaving me? All by myself. Oh, you say we should all get a cup of coffee and then come back here. That's what you're saying. Yeah, there is a photo of Trump with a big rabbit. So actually, like as an Israeli, I think the only interesting part is where they talk about Israel. So Israel appears in an hour 6 minutes. Oh, it talks about Obama. I don't want to hear about Obama. And that Jews who vote for Democrats suck. I agree. I think they should be stripped from the Jewish, from the like being, I don't know, something. What should we do with Jews who vote Democrat? Like I was saying, Israel was mentioned, but only when it comes to Obama loving Iran and hating Israel, and then how can Jews vote for Democrats? Like they must be, something must be fundamentally wrong with them, and I cannot agree more, actually. So I think they should be like, I don't know, what I don't know. Exactly, they Jews them. I know, right? I mean, it's just, I don't know. Right, Israel. I'm not gonna, okay. And then if Iran had kept the nukes, they would have obliterated Israel, which I agree. And then after Israel, the Middle East, and with the Middle East, and after the Middle East, Europe would have gone down. So you guys in America are so lucky for people to, they need to swim a long distance to get to you. That's the reality of it. Why do Democrats love these Muslims so much? Because they were taken over by the Muslim Brotherhood. And also like now some elements of the right, like the Republicans are getting infiltrated as, like, I mean, I don't know, who buys that? How can you believe that so many of those influencers that pretend to be on the right are on the right if they actually go to parties with Mamdani and support communism? Like, why does anyone still calls them, oh, they're on the right? How are they on the right? Can somebody explain to me, like I'm a stupid, idiotic, like I'm slow and like I cannot understand things? Can someone explain to me, like why somebody like Tucker Carlson or Nick, like why, or Megyn Kelly, who all advocate for different forms of communism, like and you know, the friends with Mamdani, like Nick Fuentes, I think, and his gang was or work, like why are they being referred to as right wing? Can somebody explain to me, like I'm stupid? Please explain to me like I'm stupid, because everybody does. What replacement theology? You replace people on the right with people from the left? What is that? Just for the, no, what you get more clicks if you say that, like, oh yeah, even right-wing influencer, like why are you calling them, what makes them right-wing? What, the fact that they adore Stalin, that they like, what makes them right-wing? Can't we not just say that they're leftists? Like, can somebody, okay, explain? I'm serious now. Replacement theology is very popular right now in Christianity, the idea that Christians replace Jews. Okay, so what does it have to do with the fact that they are communists? So you're saying that there are people on the right that believe that the Christians replace Jews, but for some reason, why is there such a high correlation with being a communist then? Like, why does it, like, why is it so, why does it come together? Like, can you, so here's the thing, okay? So can you please point me to a right-wing influencer that believes in replacement theology and Jews are evil and whatever, right? Let them be as racist as they want to be, I don't care. And they're not leftists. Just one. Because everyone I know are also leftists. It's like they can, like, you know, they are also like leftists. Cadence owns. All right. So you're saying Cadence owns. No, Tucker Carlson is a leftist. 100%. Tucker Carlson, like, are you joking? I was like, he's a leftist. Come on. He wants America to not be the empire anymore. He actually roots for, oh, it's so sad, America is not going to be the only power in the world anymore. He advocates for communists like China. How is it? What right? You're saying is right. Right. I don't know, because explain to me how Tucker Carlson is a nationalist if he wants his nation to fall. Every nation, like every is like, you know, it's like it's a basic thing that if you're a nationalist, far right or whatever, then you want your country to be on top. Yeah, what are Cadence owns rights with? Like I want, like why are you, like even James Lindsay or others, like why are you participating in this mockery of this misuse of language? Why are you saying that blue is green? Like why are you cooperating with that? There isn't one thing about them that is right wing. Like, listen, like you can be a communist and misogynist. You can be a communist and racist. Those things are not like, it's not like one excludes the other. So there is no problem. You can be like, you know, there is no problem in that. Those things live together. So I don't get it. Jew hatred is not right. Jew hatred is like, you listen. If somebody hates the other gender, right? Are they per se a certain right or left? Like, does it say anything about their overall view of the world? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't think so. I mean, you can be a free market capitalist and I don't know. Anyway. By the way, do you guys want to see what is the official Kurdish stance on the potential Kurdish military operation in Iran? Let me know in the comments, because it's from 4 weeks ago on Fox News, but I've been told by somebody in Kurdistan that is very representative of what she thinks is true about the involvement of Kurds in Iran. All right, so you guys do want to watch it. Cool. All right, good. Let's watch it. Let's watch together. I watch party. But you need to turn on the wait. It's muted.
With U.S. backing. That's the Associated Press tonight. The Kurds are among the largest stateless ethnic group in the world, with roughly 30 million living as minorities in Turkey, Iraq, Iran, and Syria. The Kurds represent about 10% of the Iranian population. They make up about 15% of the population in Iraq. The groups in Iraqi Kurdistan have a long history of working with the U.S. during both the Iraq War and the battle against ISIS. Joining us now is Bafel Talabani, president of the Patriotic Union of Kurdistan, the PUK. Mr. Talabani, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Let's first start big picture and paint the picture from where you sit of what you see with this war in Iran and what you think the implications are of it as it exists now.
We saw the hostilities start surprisingly, and it seems to be a massive escalation across all fronts. Kurdistan has come under attack from several different angles, and I'm not seeing any sign of a slowdown. If anything, I'm seeing an escalation.
So the U.S. is working on taking out missile sites and drone factories and that sort of thing. But as far as groups on the ground fighting the Iranians, This reporting that thousands of Iranian Kurds are preparing for this operation, where does that stand?
There are a lot of Iranian Kurds that deserve dignity, and they deserve.
I want to say something. So my friend from Kurdistan, who is a very honest person, because she was a journalist, and she's the one who told me like that one of the things that the PKK, I think it was the PKK or the YPG or whatever group, like they tried to get her killed so that they would have a story that Turkey kills journalists. So she's a very honest person. Like she didn't say like, oh, the Kurds are like perfect. I was like, no. She said like, no, there are a lot of Kurdish groups that are terroristic, and like they even tried to set me up to be killed so that they would have a case against the Turks when there was like a bombardment. Which is kind of sad because they will need, they're getting bombarded like they get effed so much, but nobody pays attention to them. So they're like, oh, what can we do? What can we do to get attention? And then the communists already get bad ideas in their head. Of course they do. They're communists. It's very easy to understand why a communist would have a bad idea, right? They like bad ideas, otherwise they wouldn't be. So YPG, YPK, PKK, it's all the same group. They just use different names to confuse people.
Perhaps better treatment. But as for any actual preparation and armed Kurds inside Iran, there are elements, and there's lots of political organization. But most of the most effective fighting forces are actually outside of Iran. They're on the borders here.
You had a conversation with President Trump. What was like?
I did.
I forgot to tell you what she said about the Iranian Kurds. Sorry, I'm gonna read it. I hope she's okay with that. Okay, so here's what she had to say about the Iranian group and Iranian Kurdish groups. She said that, let me get to that point. It's very, I don't think I can, I wanna not make up anything. Okay, let's continue watching and I'll find the exact wording she used.
He was very charming. He was very kind. I could feel the emotion in his voice. He said that the Kurds were great fighters. My understanding is that the protection of their people in Iraq is paramount. He's very grateful for all the years that we have served and I have spent with your special forces.
You also talked to the Iranian foreign minister.
Yes.
What is their take on things from your call? Do you believe that regime change is possible the way it's heading right now?
Okay, I'm gonna stop here. It's a cliffhanger. Okay, so this is what my friend said about, she's Kurdish, about the Iranian Kurdish groups. She said, there are very small groups of Iranian Kurds, and it's been years that they haven't fought a fly. They just run away from Iran, having their own offices under the name of Kurdish Iranians, and all they do all day is drink and eat and sleep together. And they can't even hold a gun unless it's for photos. Still.
The foreign minister, His Excellency, expressed great disappointment, if I'm honest with you. He indicated that as far as they were concerned, the talks were going well. He implied that a technical group was supposed to sit together in the upcoming days to discuss technical matters. He indicated that this wasn't a war that they were looking forward to, but it was a war they would have to fight. It's definitely existential to them. I got the impression that they were open to some form of peaceful negotiation, which realistically is the only real solution to this issue. Regime change at the moment doesn't look on the cards from what I see. We've seen no uprisings anywhere. We've seen nothing of that. But it's early days. I expect this operation to be long and very difficult.
You think there are difficult days ahead. The president is suggesting that he would only accept unconditional surrender, in his words, to a reporter. So you don't see that right now, that this is on the cusp of happening?
I don't, sir. No, I don't see that right now. I think that the regime is.
You know what I was trying to clip? I forgot. I think it was during the live, which somebody asked me what I think the fight with the regime would look like, and I said that each and every one of them would fight to the very end, and when it's gonna come to the street level, they're gonna sit on the pile of trash they think that belongs to them, and hold a gun and basically fight, even if they one person that fights like for this pile of trash that believe that it's theirs. I don't remember what live it was when I said it. If you guys know, let me know. Just so this is what I think. I think it's gonna be like each and every one of them. Like one of the things I said, which I'm sorry for, like I don't know if you heard me. I said like third in my video on Iran where I said like that third of Iran will evaporate like the water in the pipes probably, like if the regime continues. I do also think, and I think I said it in a live before, that a third would go anyway. It's just a matter of which third, the one that we like more or the one that we like less. And I believe that it should be the one, and the third that is the Islamists.
I've been planning for this for 45 years, and you can expect a fierce resistance. The definition of regime change is important. What is the definition of regime change? And is there an off-ramp?
Oh, so Mehmet, yeah, more than half of the Kurds in Turkey are half Kurdish. So, just as I know. Yeah, that makes sense. Like half Kurdish, half Greek, half Kurdish, half Armenian, half Kurdish, half, right? How many Turks actually have any Turkic genes in them?
Because some could argue that most mission parameters have been achieved. So is there an off-ramp where now perhaps we can try to resolve this diplomatically?
Yeah, I think that from the administration, at least listening to them, taking out the ballistic missile capability, making sure that Iran never gets a nuclear weapon, was the original objective going in.
Exactly.
The Israelis clearly are more wanting specific regime change to get a different leader in place that the U.S. and Israel can work with.
I understand that. And I think that, Mr. Baer, the conditions, I keep hearing the comparisons to 2003. I think the conditions are very different to 2003. In 2003, there was legitimate, well-known, respected opposition to Saddam among the Shiites, among the Kurds, and don't really see that in Iran now.
One
there
second.
Isn't a standard.
So Rohit, the point Rebecca misses still now that the Muslims are majority in Iran, regime change won't happen. Muslims never accept a non-Muslim. I think you don't understand what I said, sweetheart. You need to think a little bit differently. I said the Muslims will fight till the bitter end. I didn't say stop before they all find their bitter end, right? I think you missed something. See. And guys, I wouldn't trust this Kurdish guy at all. That feeling you guys saying he's comes a bit shady.
A symbol for people to follow.
I mean, yeah.
That will make it very difficult. Troops on the ground with a country the size of Western Europe. I'm not sure if that's feasible either, but there are many options. And
I think so here's what I've been told. His main goal in this interview is to not be in a situation where the Kurds are incentivized to go and fight in Iran, because they've been they've been fighting in many fronts battles, right? They're fighting against ISIS. They've been fighting in Iraq. Were they perfect? No, I think I'm pretty sure they really screwed the Yazidis. But can I say anything? It's like they got screwed by the Americans. Everybody screws everyone in the Middle East. So it's kind of a beautiful, it's the circle of screwing. It reminds me of a very particular imagery from Turkish Islamic history. Anyway, which depicts exactly that. There is a video where you can see it. It's 18 plus in the live section.
I think the U.S. administration.
It's one of my. I think it's the first talk with Lloyd. So if you guys wanna, yeah.
Is wise enough to modify their position as the battle changes and as the battlefield changes.
Just to be clear, so there's no armed cross-border operation happening now from your territory in Iraq involving Iranian Kurds into Iran?
Not that I see, and you could argue that that's actually a detriment. Iranians, like everybody else, are very a nationalistic person, and I believe that if they fear that Kurds coming in from elsewhere will cause a split or a splintering of their country, this may actually unify the people and against this separatist movement. Then you have the complications of Turkey. Turkey will have legitimate concerns of this happening.
It talks
You will have
sense.
Turkish intervention against the Kurdish troops. At the same
Isn't it
time,
what the
there is a
Iranians
problem
want to
with
hear?
Assyrians. I think it's a very complicated scenario, and perhaps Kurds being tip of the spear is not the way to go.
Yeah.
Guys, isn't it like exactly what the like what it's wrong? What it like he says exactly what the Iranians would want to hear, right? It's like we're not like that. We are not getting in there. It's not a thing.
Well, there are many minorities, you're right, in Iran, and it's very complex as far as how it comes together. If you were to look into a crystal ball, how do you think this ends?
I think that Kurdistan needs to be a bridge, not a battlefield. And the Kurds are uniquely.
Well, that goes against everything the Kurds always been in history. They've always been a buffer zone between empires, and they were used as a bridge where you fight, and like more of like an arena than a bridge. What should I know better? Can you elaborate what you're referring to? You're saying he doesn't want to show his hand, not yet, maybe. I don't think you understand like how complex Kurdistan is. Like it's like I don't I think there like I'm certain that there are groups that are waiting to go in. I know for sure, like I know for sure. He they just he's like he doesn't want to. Should I know better about the Kurdish situation? Here's what I know about the Kurdish situation. First of all, it's complex. Second of, it gives me a headache. It's somewhat removed from me. So it's like Arabs, Druze, right? Like that's close. The Jews, and then like the Kurds are that's a bit farther in. And Iran, I'll be humble and say, right? I've heard a lot of contradictory narratives when it comes to Iran. So. We're saying false anti-Islamist joins your ranks directly under their own names and defend Islam. Same pattern. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? False anti-Islamists join your ranks. And honestly, like there are so many false anti-Islamists, like Tucker Carlson, for example, who joined the Republican Party ranks. Is he a Kurd? No.
As being your great allies. And a partner in a neighbor of Iran. I think we're uniquely positioned to play a role in de-escalation when the time is appropriate. Like,
sorry, I can't show it because my computer is stuck.
But what I see now, from what I'm seeing, is a weakened Iranian system, but the institutions, though very different to ours, are institutions and they remain solid. I think that once military objectives are achieved, I dare say that it will be the time for diplomacy. And at that time, we stand ready, as always, to stand with our friends and allies to try to bring stability, peace, and prosperity to this region that truly has suffered from far too many wars and far too many conflicts.
Dealing with the drone
Kurds got
threat from
screwed.
Iran, because that's what we're seeing most in some of these Gulf countries.
Yes.
Are you worried about attacks and how to defend
The
against
video name?
those drone attacks that come
I'll check later.
in swarms?
Not to sound flippant, so it's not our first rodeo, and we have absolutely no defense against any drones. So I think the less time spent worrying about it, the better.
Yeah, I got you. And the U.S. is attempting to deal with all of those threats together.
Just for you guys, just so you guys know, talking to Iranians is also a headache. And talking to Kurds and Iranians at the same time, that's the biggest headache one can have.
It's very interesting to hear your perspective. If you were to say the thing you're most worried about, what is it?
The humanitarian crisis. I think the people of the Middle East have suffered enough. And I urge all sides to try to look at a less bloody way to resolve our issues. I understand that, and I genuinely believe that Mr. Trump in his heart wants peace. And I understand the theory of peace through strength. And I also think that when the day comes to acknowledge victory, there will be grace in that victory, and we may be able to have dialogue, and we may be able to resolve this issue through the only way that will make a long-lasting peace, and that's dialogue, stability, peace.
Well, that didn't help. They still bombed the crap out of Kurdistan anyway. It's a nice attempt, sir. Nice attempt. It's like, oh my God, the Kurds really tried so hard to stay out of it. And by the way, they're getting bombed a lot by Iran, the IRGC. So it didn't help.
Well, fascinating to talk to you from the region. Balfour Talabani, the head of the PUK.
Well, they tried
thanks for the
to
time.
stay away.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Hey,
Alas, it was
John
not in the cards.
to hear.
It was
Hey,
not in
click
the
here
cards
to
for them.
subscribe to
There isn't a fight that the Kurds don't participate in. Stop promoting false hopes, Kurds. Also, my friend is like, one of my friends, I talked to several people, right? He was like, oh, can you, like, she was like, it's like, can you tell Iran to stop bombing us? We really are trying to stay away from it. We cannot, we're tired. And I'm like, ma'am, sorry. You're Kurds, you always get screwed. Sorry, no way out. Yeah, Iran must be stopped. That's for sure. Listen, they sound like it says that, right? But let's be honest, it sounds a lot more sane than most European leaders. Like European leaders just don't sound like they have their logic intact. So the name of the video is Kurdish leader addresses potential military operation in Iran, for those who asked. Actually, I can just share the link in the just here in the chat. Somebody asked. Iran is fighting on too many fronts. I mean, they have a lot of people though, so they can do it. They have it's a big country. So what do they do? It's so they became such a big empire. I wonder, do you guys want to spy on the on Armin and Goldie a little bit? I'm just curious what they're talking. Okay, let's spy, and then I'll be good. I promise, and I'll show you what I wanted to show. And just spy a little, just a little bit. Nobody would notice. Let me put myself here, not here. Wrong. Yes, spying. Okay, everybody wants to spy.
I think a month ago, like early on, when the conflict, or as he likes
Okay,
to
let's go back a little
500,000
bit.
women, and they were all enthused, and they were going to protest, and everybody said, oh, the regime's going to come to an end. And then all of a sudden, boom, boom, 5, 6 different areas, a woman would go down right between the eyes. They had snipers. They had 5 snipers. That's
Oh,
what
it's describing what happened during the night.
Goldie, we haven't seen these videos.
Oh, by the way, I forgot. There's an entire text my friend wrote describing what happened during the January 8th, which I promised to him I would read, and I somehow didn't yet. He talks like the first casualty being a child. There's some things there.
This must be videos that Israel showed President Trump that we haven't seen. These are videos that hasn't been released. And Goldie,
I don't. It's by the way, this was told in a. I mean, I don't know. So when one of the talks that we had, like somebody mentioned, like one of the reasons that Trump went ahead with the mission is because Israel showed videos to Trump of what happened during the, to people in Iran by the regime, how crazy they are.
do you see how he
And
describes?
so I'm just asking, like, is it like did you guys see it somewhere public? Because I only heard it in the conversation that we had, but I didn't see it written anywhere else.
It's the hope that we had on that day, because this was beginning of the Iran revolution. Those days we were so hopeful that, oh my God, this might be it. Like, we're so close. This is it. The regime is going to come down. And he's describing that emotion that we're having at that moment, until all of a sudden they start shooting everybody. Listen to this part again. And like, they were so hopeful, like the crowd was so hopeful at that moment, and then all of a sudden everything changed.
come to an end, and then
I don't know.
Look at it. The regimes come to an end. Like, this is Goldie. This is such a high understanding of us Iranian emotion, of the Iranian emotions. I haven't seen this.
I want to say that it's not hard to understand Iranian emotions because Iranians make their emotions very, very clear. Very, very clear.
Anywhere else on Western media. Like, nobody has described it this way. This is a really high level of understanding of what we were going through.
horrible world where if you protest, you are shot. Remember the great woman protests where they had 400,000, 500,000 women, and they were all enthused and they were going to protest, and everybody said, oh, the regime's going to come to
Okay,
an end.
let's
And
just
then
skip ahead a
all
little.
of a sudden,
Trump, Admiral Cooper, Prince Reza Pahlavi tells the Iranians to don't go out, stay home. And then the journalists are like, but why are they not out? Why are they not out? Because everybody is telling them to stay home. That is why. Oh, I got a super chat as well.
Wait,
I don't
I
care
can
who
just
it
skip
is.
ahead.
Please.
Mark Barrett, Fox News.
I know that.
Oh, thank you.
How would I know that? Go ahead.
America's watching. No,
Good job.
can we go back to the weekend? First off, was everyone on board with the operation, or were there people that were trying to talk you out of going through with the operation this weekend?
Not everybody was on.
Somebody else within
No,
your-
there were military people, very professional, that preferred not doing it. These two were totally on board, which was very important.
Goldie, I'm surprised that some military people were not on board when it comes to the rescue operation. Is that what they're saying? Like, that is, I'm glad that they didn't listen to them.
Yeah.
Like, is that like, wait, like, what does that mean? Like, they're like, let's leave our man behind? Like, what the hell? I don't understand this part. Can somebody explain this to me? Like, some military people were like, yeah, let's not rescue our guy. Guys, people were saying don't pause. We already listened. We already went through this once without pausing. So we already did that.
within
No,
your-
there were military people, very professional, that preferred not doing it. These two were totally on board, which was very important. They weren't. It would have had a little difficulty. But no, there were military people that said, you just don't do this. You don't go into the heart of a very powerful military. You know, this is, hey, you have countries and countries. You have some countries where military is not their strong suit. This whole thing is militarized like nobody's ever seen before. Half the people are wearing uniforms. And we had people within the military. Usually it's not done. That's one of the reasons. You know, I was surprised. Somebody said it's the only time it's ever been done. I said, that's not possible. But it is possible because you're going into hundreds of thousands of soldiers along the path. I mean, look at some of the helicopters, how they got hit. So yeah, there were people within the military that said it's a wise. And don't forget, how many men did you send altogether, approximately, to the operation?
I'd love to keep that a secret.
Okay, well, but I will tell you the number. I'll keep it a secret, but it was hundreds and hundreds of these people. That's pretty good. Is he central casting? But hundreds of people went into this journey. Hundreds of people could have been killed. Forget about the equipment. A lot of equipment.
That's
Nobody
true.
cares.
Think how
Hundreds of
crazy
people
the rescue
could have been
operation
killed.
was
Yes.
Can I just
when
say, I'd love
when they entered Gaza to rescue Noa Gemani and people there, the Al-Non operation who was killed in this operation to rescue, like they had an entire city shooting at them with guns. The entirety of them, like, and they went into for a rescue mission. And how crazy like it was to get out of that.
the part how he just casually says, forget about the equipment. No one cares about the equipment. And he focuses on the value of human.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. So
Yeah, how many men did you send altogether, approximately, to the operation?
I'd love to keep that a secret.
Okay, well, but I will tell you the number.
All right, that's great. Now I want to show you what Speak the Truth talked about, because he had a different theory of what happened in Iran. So I'm curious to hear him. I wanted to share it with you, the joy. And somebody are suggesting to split Iran into Islamic and non-Islamic. The famous two-state solution. I can tell you right now that it actually doesn't work. Like we tried it, it doesn't really work. Something is wrong here, but here. Let's see.
Particularly the location in which this guy ended up getting recovered from. The location in which he got recovered from is absolutely insane within itself. Now, a lot of people are looking at this and saying, well, I mean, there's a good reason why he could have, been taken from this particular location. No, I mean, yeah, maybe. All right. So first, let's go ahead and orient you guys to this area. All right, several things happened. We ended up setting up a field landing strip right over here, right? And reportedly, the pilot ended up getting recovered off of this ridgeline right here. Excuse me, not pilot, the WSO ended up getting recovered off this pilot or the ridgeline.
Oh.
Now that would be the other crew member, right? You got a pilot, and then you got the Wizzo that sits in the back of it playing with guns. Okay. Now, what the media, what everybody is not telling you, probably because they don't know. If we look at this location, I'm just gonna go to this road right here and bring it over, and I'm just gonna go due north of that is the general location. As the U.S. was conducting airstrikes up inside of this region a lot last week. As a matter of fact, this location right here is 22 kilometers or let's go to miles. Right, you're looking at 13.5 miles away, due south of this strike location. Now, I had brought this up last week, and we're going to talk about why it's actually relevant. That this strike location that took place, we had a 5.5 minute long video get uploaded the day prior. Excuse me, it was on March 1st. The airplane went down on Good Friday, March 3rd. I'm sorry, April 3rd. So blah blah blah. My brain's not working too good. April 1st, we ended up having that strike, and then on Good Friday, the aircraft ended up going down. So let's go and take a look at this, and I should probably go ahead and update that on my map so it doesn't look so weird as we talk about that one. So, anyways. Yeah, I'm gonna edit that before I forget to do so. I don't know why I put March on all those when it was definitely April. That was a brain fart as I was doing everything. But I want you guys to take a look at this as I go down to this particular view. We blow it up nice and big so you guys can see it. So you guys got like a good idea of what I'm talking about. When I bring this in and I show you guys the significance of this, these are the ammo strike locations. This is the south side, right on the screen right here. This is the south side of a 20-kilometer north-south running IRGC base, dubbed like Rocket City. If you guys were to fly over this thing and look at it, I mean, all of these are different firing positions, all sorts of stuff that we've been bombing and just taking out over the last about week straight. But when we come in and we take a look at where this strike location's at, and we look at where the WSO was picked up at, and where the field landing strip's at, you guys are gonna notice something. There is a major north-south running road right past the IRGC base and right into the heart of where all of this went down, right? And this is the rescue operation over this weekend, right? This is issue number one that I don't think a lot of people are kind of wrapping their heads around when we go into bring this up. Issue number two, right? As I bring you guys back up over, is I want to show you something else. Let's go ahead and take that off. We're gonna zoom out. We're gonna go back to north-south orientation. I'm gonna bring you guys back. Issue number two is on Friday, 150 miles away, all the way in the south of the country. This was the location of the downed F-15. There was a lot.
By the way, I really recommend his channel. Just check it out. But what I actually, it's getting late, so I'm gonna skip ahead and tell you to go watch and check it out yourselves. But there is a moment here which I wish It was live, and there is no transcription yet, unfortunately. I just there is a part in the end where he dropped a lot of truth bombs that I kind of wanted to share, and I'm just guesstimating where it was. So
well, Ayatollah, the second Ayatollah got, like, he's dead, like he died in his hospital bed. So what's
By
going to
the
happen?
way, Mujtaba is dead. I don't know what's going on anymore. Is Mujtaba dead? Let me know, guys.
Great question. But the country's being ripped apart. They're not going to come to the table on the straight because they can't.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what I think is going to end up happening, man. James says it's amazing what the U.S. military can accomplish when the politicians don't interfere. Exactly. I got a feeling under a different administration that the rescue operation as described, as we talked about that rescue operation as described, how it went down, that rescue operation wouldn't have been allowed to take place. And that's the messed up part. Because that involves some very risky stuff, right? Some very risky stuff. But they did it, and they got it done. By the way, for those of you that don't know, and this is what makes America great, we have the ability to do this crap on every country on this planet, right? Like, a lot of people don't realize that. Like, this is what makes America so great. 2000 Lamar, do you think Iran will surrender?
And this is what Tucker wants to take away from America while pretending he cares about
before midterms? No, I don't. I think the only thing that's Iran's not going to surrender. They're not. The only thing that would make Iran surrender, in my opinion, is if we had some sort of a puppet that ended up getting propped up, and that puppet ends up, like, that puppet government ends up coming in and saying, yep, we're in charge now, we surrender. That's the only way.
I like him.
But they're got to come from, like, one of those factions that broke off. That's not the hardliners, because the hardliners want to fight this out. If you ask Iran how they're doing right now, they're going to say they're doing great. They're doing absolutely amazing things because they managed to damage an airfield. They managed to slip a Shahed 136 past, something at some point and blow up a freaking helicopter or an airplane parked somewhere, or they hit a hangar in one country.
And ABC and CNN is agreeing with them.
If this is your first time watching the channel, Iran is 2.5 times the size of Texas. There's a huge mountain range that cuts right through it. It is impossible for us to get every single ballistic missile out of there, and that's why the strait's going to be such a big pain in the butt. All it takes is one Shahed drone. All it takes is one unmanned surface vessel. All it takes is, a freaking anti-ship cruise missile to strike into another oil tanker like we saw last week, and the strait's closed. And I told you guys this. The administration last week was singing, the strait's open, the strait's open, the strait's open. No, it's not. There was a handful of boats that went through, and it was a fraction of what goes through on a daily basis, and most of them belong to Iran. The United States has, 3 objectives in this war? 1, Iran stops funding foreign terror organizations. Number 2, their ballistic missile range and stockpile is taken way down. Lastly, they have to turn over all of the enriched uranium, and they're not allowed to enrich it again in the future. That's it. We are not going into Iran to nation build. I think this is where a lot of people are getting something wrong. Do I think that an insurgency is taking place over inside of Iran? Absolutely. Trump came out this weekend. Yep, U.S. gave the Kurds weapons. Freaking good on us. As they were slaughtering tens of thousands of their own people, we did that. What they're going to be doing with that is another story. By the way, there's also 2 nations involved here, the United States and Israel, on the attack. I told you what the United States' goals are. That doesn't mean that's not what Israel's goals are. Israel could have the stated goal and agenda of regime change. In the United States, we can't touch that legally. Trump can't go in there and say, you know what, I'm going for a regime change inside of this country, because legally, that could get his butt impeached. He doesn't have the legal authority as the commander-in-chief to just overthrow another government. Netanyahu does. They can play that game. But publicly, we're not going to state it. We're going to go after the bombing. We're going to go after the enriched uranium. We're going to go after the strait. We're going to go after those things. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure their foreign terror organizations are taken out. The PMF, speaking of foreign terror organizations,
you're welcome.
That PMF strike that I told you about on the border right here on 4/4.
You're welcome.
Then we went after petrochemical site down here, same day, all kind of in line leading up over there. We had a lot of action over inside the south. Another major petrochemical plant over in Bashir ended up getting smashed today. IRGC, excuse me, basically like their Air Force Academy equivalent over in Tehran ended up getting bombed and taken out as well. What our goals are doesn't matter. We give the Kurds weapons, tell them to have fun, good on the United States. But those PMF forces, those Iraqi PMF forces, have been pouring across the border in the last several days, like particularly in the north and also in the south. There is a very famous guy from the PMF that touched ground over inside of Tehran. So he's over there. They thoroughly plan on using these guys to do everything. And I talked about the gas before. I don't think Trump's goal is necessarily to open the Strait of Hormuz here. 40% of China gets its oil from the Strait of Hormuz. 40% of the oil China consumes comes from the Strait of Hormuz. 40%. China.
I think actually maybe the best strategy here is just completely close the Strait of Hormuz. It's like, okay, if it's a pick and choose kind of strategy, it only takes one person. It would only take one American soldier to sit basically on one. It doesn't have to be who said the terrorist has to be like an Iranian, right? It only takes one American soldier that would just sit somewhere, nobody would know, and just throw rockets, and then nobody can go through. Even it's like, oh, how come nobody is listening to our command to let Chinese boats through? well, who knows? And there are rogue soldiers anywhere, and then the Europeans would get screwed, and the Chinese would get screwed. I think that's a solution, because if America doesn't need this oil, right, then everyone else who basically the rest of the world who doesn't cooperate, then they can all get screwed.
Has been waging economical warfare in the United States via the silver market, via exports and everything else. They're huge in propping up the Russian war machine. They're huge in propping up Maduro. They're huge when it goes down to laundering money for the IRGC. China helps fund the IRGC, for those of you guys that don't know. IRGC was moving oil from Venezuela into China. IRGC gets kickbacks from that, funds a ballistic missile program, funds foreign terror organizations. That's how that worked. I don't think Trump necessarily cares about the Strait of Hormuz and China. I think that's why he went over and he started giving crap to the EU and the UK. If you guys love your LNG so much, figure something else out. Because the EU still gets the vast majority of their LNG from India. And you know where India gets it? Russia. So while the EU supposedly boycotted all the Russian oil starting in 22, Russia just sells it to India. India refines it and then sells it right back to the UK. All you did was produce a middleman, made your lives more expensive. That's all you guys did. Just want to throw that out there for you. I don't think America cares about the Strait of Hormuz because the USA produces more oil. We pull more out of the soil than any other freaking country on this earth, so we could care less. It bothers you, it bothers everybody else. It doesn't bother us. But who it really hurts is China. It hurts the Chinese economy, and it really hurts the Russian war effort as well. Which is why I brought this up in the past. You know, when we look at it like small scale of what it is we're doing, and we start talking about operations, and we say, look, this operation to rescue this pilot was freaking baller because it was. Good job. When we go up to the operational aspect and say, this is the US's goal, which is to be able to limit ballistic missile and all that, great. But let's look at the US overall geopolitical strategic reason for doing this. And it has nothing to do with Iran having ballistic missiles. Nope, not even close. It has to do with Russia, it has to do with China, and it has to do with the support for the blow from Iran. And severing that tie, severing that freaking support network for China, severing that support network for Russia, so we could force Russia to come to the negotiation table over inside of Ukraine. That will be the next thing to fall. That is going to be Trump's next chess piece. People are like, Venezuela, why Venezuela? Here's why. Why Iran? Here's why. And when it comes up with why China, why Russia, here's why. We could do a hell of a lot more stuff when it comes to offshore. We could do a hell of a lot more when it comes to a lot. We just haven't. Do we need to? Absolutely. In my opinion, we absolutely do. So, man, I don't know what to tell you guys. It's
I feel the same.
It's been an absolute shit show. I don't think a lot of people realize the significance of everything. I think our next step here, you're going to ask me for the way forward and what's going to happen and how it's going to go down.
I love how I was guesstimating to where to go, but wherever I land is going to say something that's dope. So it doesn't
we're going
matter.
to end up seeing these F-15s, or not the F-15s. We're going to end up seeing additional strikes. So now that this thing's done down here, now that we've got our guy back, you know, and he's out of there, now that we got our guy back, you're going to see this place getting bombed even more. South of Isfahan, expect more bombings and all that other stuff.
Cool.
Within the next week or so, I would not be surprised. We start
Okay,
seeing
I'm
the Kurds
gonna
infill
jump
from Iraq,
again.
going into Iran.
Oh, you're talking about the Kurds
Infill
going
down
into
to nuclear facilities, go secure our uranium, get the hell out. Not just here, but also in Natanz, get the hell out. U.S. says, you know what, we're done with our missions, our objectives. We did what we need to do. Meanwhile, Israel is going to continue to do what they want to do, which is going to be overthrowing the regime. That's my opinion. Tom Bone says, something I'm curious about is what is Brazil's role as a member of BRICS and their war against the U.S. dollar? I'll have to look more into what Brazil has been doing. I'll take a look. Dylan Reed, people don't understand what we could do if they fully let the dongs out with no restrictions, no policy. This is a good example. Like this type of operation right here, if I told you the amount of crap that's involved, you know, in that operation of getting that pilot out, it's something that we train for. It's something that dudes are constantly doing. And most of the time, it's one of those things, not most of the time, like every time, you know, it's a lot of the time, it's one of those things that guys are like, yeah, we're never gonna do something on this level, on this scale. But these types of things are established, they're ready to go, they're set.
Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead.
Bravo on the show today. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. If the pilot went down right here, if the pilot ended up going down right here and then he just ran over to this freaking mountainside and he hit out there, why didn't we bomb this road out beforehand? Why didn't we bomb this road out beforehand, or this one over here behind this other ridgeline? Why didn't we get video after video for 36 hours of bombs dropping all over the place to keep this pilot safe up on the mountain? Why didn't we get all those different videos? How come they didn't exist? How come every freaking besieged force, over 30,000 in this region, over 30,000, not to mention this massive freaking IRGC base that stretches 20 freaking kilometers, massive IRGC base that stretches 20 kilometers. Why didn't any of them come down? So please continue to tell me that this guy was 5 miles away and that you know more than me, by all means. Like, you're stupid if you actually think that's true. I don't even care if they come out with that's the official narrative. You're absolutely nuts if you think that's true. And you need to do a hell of a lot more research before you come out with stupid opinions like that. Every single member of the IRGC and besieged forces would have been on that road running right here through the middle of the screen. This one, right here. running right down through the middle of the screen, and this whole place would have been covered in freaking bodies. You think that they wouldn't have figured out after 36 hours how to circle around, get over around that area, everything? You think we would have been prepared? They wouldn't have been prepared to have a field landing strip, anything like that. We wouldn't have had surface-to-air missiles, shoulder-fired, set up on these freaking ridge lines, all of that crap. Just prepared, ambushed, and waiting for U.S. forces to come in. You are dead ass wrong. If you think that this airplane went down right here, and yet somehow 150 miles away we picked up his buddy, you might be a retard. That's all I can say about that. Facts matter, man. Facts matter. And you need to pay attention. You need to look at every single fact that's on here. And on addition to that, you also need to be comfortable that you don't get all of the answers. You don't get to know them. Your OSINT researchers that are here going, look, I found this burnt chunk of terrain right over here by this mountainside. Therefore, that has to be where the F-15 went down. Show me that prior to yesterday's operation. Show me any of the OSINT accounts that identified the crash site as being right there prior to yesterday's operation. Show me.
You guys,
Show me
I'm
any reporting.
seeing a lot of comments like criticizing his economic explanation of the world, and you are guys correct, but that's still amusing, so it's okay. You guys are all correct. He's getting the system wrong. Okay, he's misrepresenting the way the economy of gas and oil works. But don't just let's keep that part. Okay, let's keep it. Let's ignore it. I mean, the thing is, like, I have this thing. There is this joke. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this very inappropriate joke, and I'm gonna put myself. I'm gonna be bigger. So the joke is you know, a woman finds this thing, she rubs it, and a genie comes out and gives her 3 wishes. But here's the caveat. She says, whatever you wish for, your husband is gonna get it 10 times more. So she's like, oh, just make me the most beautiful, make me the richest, and give me a little heart attack. So it's so yes, it's the economic explanation is a bit wrong, but you know, are you not willing to pay just a little bit more for a gallon of gas just so that you can screw all those who screwed you over 10 times more? Just throwing it out.
Other than mine, I said they were probably bombing this place when they were going down. But other than that, show me any reporting on this area prior to yesterday's operation. None. So as you sit here and you try to sharpshoot and you scream, it was 5 miles away, you're wrong. You don't get to know all the answers. You're not going to know all the answers. Sorry. What's amazing to me is you people with zero operational experience, zero information on how any of this crap works, will come in here and sharpshoot me and try to claim that I don't know what I'm talking about because you saw a Twitter post by some freaking nerd in his basement that saw some black rocks and decided that's a crash site. That had no idea that there was freaking, ballistic freaking missiles that were.
So Mohammed, you predict that more people will buy bicycles and they're gonna carry the tomatoes to the store with bicycles? They're gonna use bicycles to bring food to your local grocery store?
That were part of a freaking huge weapons cache for 2 days prior to this going down that were cooking off in this direction because we were bombing the crap out of them. And that those pop marks are all over the damn place. No shit. You found black rocks over here after we bombed 2 massive freaking weapon sites?
Okay, get to the point. You can watch this part yourself. There was a part that I really wanted to share, because I was like, it's not, I rarely get a moment where I'm like, oh, instead of saying something very cruel, I can blame the teddy bear that feels a certain way. And it's very hard for me to find a teddy bear that is, would do that, would say what I kind of want to say, but it's kind of cruel because I need to I still have some friends here and there. Rarely I do, but just a little. So he did do that. So I actually wanted to do that part where I'm like, oh my God, what is he saying? How outrageous! Who would have thought?
2 million people. 2.2 million people. You don't think that maybe 10% of them, 200,000 that live within Isfahan would be like, yeah, I'll go give me some of that money. You think the U.S. can conduct a bombing campaign to keep away freaking 2.2 million people from trying to get $90,000? No. It is insane that people think that way. The people that believe that they happen to crash right there and then he just ran up and hit on a freaking mountain, you're nuts. If Iran couldn't touch that mountainside, by the way, I want you guys to also think about this. If Iran was going after them and we're just bombing the Iranian forces that are trying to get to him, why wouldn't they have just blown up this entire freaking ridgeline to kill the guy? It's not like it's that big. This whole freaking ridgeline. They could have lit this entire ridgeline up with indirect fire the entire time. They have the capability. We blew
Where
up a
is
bunch
the
of their
part
launchers
I
and crap
wanted
like
to
that over
share
here.
with you
Not all of them.
guys? And
Definitely not all their freaking missiles, not all their artillery, not all their crap.
shoot.
They got huge cave networks. They've got huge storage bunkers. We haven't even blown these ones up yet. Look,
Where was it?
we haven't even touched
It's hard to guesstimate where this part was.
all of these launch sites and storage bunkers that are scattered along this whole one right here. Why wouldn't they have just blasted this ridgeline to shit?
Yeah, that's what
Exceptional
Chipayer
military,
said.
an exceptional intel community that is capable of doing operations like this.
Okay.
That they want to get clicks, likes, and views. And you, my
I
friends,
want to
are
get
never gonna the whole
clicks,
story.
likes, and views. Please
The
do that
official
for me.
statement by the U.S. government, I would be shocked if they actually came out with the truth on exactly how this is done and how it went down. I would be mind blown. I don't understand why people can't accept the fact that we have an exceptional military, an exceptional intel community that is capable of doing operations like this. If you think this guy lived up on that ridgeline for 36 hours, took off running, made it up on that ridgeline for 36 hours, and just sat there this close, look at it, this close, at the base of, right here, at the base of this mountain, and he's hanging out right there. You think they wouldn't have figured that out and how to freaking get his ass? You're smoking crack. That whole freaking ridgeline would have been blasted to crap from this base right here. The fact that we got him out is what you get to know. The fact that we did it at that location, this close to here, shouldn't be a conspiracy. It should be something that you take absolute
Yeah,
pride in.
blah, blah, blah. Where is the
Literally
part you
has
say
training
what I
ensued.
want to
Survival,
see?
evasion, and evade escape.
Blah, blah,
Across there in
blah.
all these farm fields and nobody noticed.
Blah,
He
blah,
did that on
blah.
his own. This crap works. They're just like, yeah, no, this is perfect.
Are you saying I'm gonna have to say what I think myself, sir? I don't want to.
We conducted one of the most badass operations of all time.
Maybe it's somewhere in the
I'm trying.
middle.
We had a strike here on this ammo facility. The day before that happened, we had another one.
Aww. No, Ken, thank you. I'll click a like for you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support. I thought you were in Israel, but you pay with dollars. Interesting. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Strike right there.
Are you
All
saying
that
I'm gonna have to share my thoughts myself? I don't like it. I want you to say what I think, but because it's like, if I get this chance to just pretend like, just when like Tucker Carlson invited Nick Fuentes over and just like, and just pretending that Nick Fuentes said something he disagreed with.
We get videos of it every single time from miscellaneous places.
I want to
inside
able
the
to
country,
do that
right?
too. Where's this point?
Let me turn this off. Unless you guys want to see it. No, maybe you haven't seen it, so I'll show it up again. This is the observation location that we ended up having on that one strike on a tiny little hilltop, like I said, about 7 miles away. And you guys can see from here, this hilltop, and then this is the location right up over here in that ridgeline.
I
where that
never
one's
get
floated.
it, huh?
Okay. Then magically we get video of this one. As well.
I
On
might
an unmanned
be.
surface vessel. All it takes is, a freaking his main
No.
routes that's going from Iraq into Iran. And it
No,
all ends up just stemming from like early morning to there. We get all of that crap.
no.
And talk about was
I'm
Israeli
so
SOF was
sorry.
also involved in this. A lot of people are saying, why
Oh,
wasn't Israel there? Israeli SOF
that's interesting. I like
any of the firefights or anything
Israel.
like that that went on from when the aircraft was reported down until the rescue operation took place, which is absolutely freaking amazing. We end up flying and fixed wing aircraft, offloading a bunch of pipe hitters, flying that helicopter out there, grabbing them off the freaking mountain, cannon stick our helicopters from a field landing strip that magically exists. It's a perfect 0.75 miles across, right? Perfect. 0.7, like 2AT measures perfect 0.75 miles.
Okay, talk about Israel. No, I want
And we're able to grab them and get
the
them the hell out. But the aircraft
to
is stuck.
take
couldn't turn
credit
around.
for
Great.
something I have
What do we do?
nothing to do
Well,
with.
we blow it up after we send in new aircraft. That's exactly what we did. This whole area was left untouched for a reason.
No,
Because
the
aircraft didn't
entire
go down
video
over there.
is incredibly interesting.
This whole area
I'm
was
just
left
kind of
untouched for a
falling
reason
asleep.
because the aircraft didn't go down over there. And it was quiet and they didn't expect it and they didn't see it coming. Surprise is always your
And
best
yes, no
freaking
cans,
element
Mazal
when it
Tov.
comes to knocking something out like this.
Sorry, I can't
I've
pause
got a
because my
very solid
computer is
opinion on how
stuck.
this ended up taking place and how it ended up going down. Some of you guys are going to read between the lines and figure this out on your very own. There's enough
Which I
open source
don't
information, I think, for you
appreciate.
to look at
I
this and
don't
go,
like
yeah.
thinking.
What's absolutely cool about this is, in my opinion, and I would love to be on the other side
I
of this
like
right now, to be able to look at the intel and
hearing
go,
Nick
dude, that's freaking
Fuentes
amazing.
talk. It's so much.
Is if
It's
what
so
I think happened,
amusing.
which by the way, the other portion that we didn't even talk about was Israeli SOF was also involved in this. A lot of people are saying, why wasn't Israel there? Israeli SOF was involved in this, just FYI.
Who is
So you
there?
guys know, Israeli SOF units were involved in this. And for a reason, in my opinion, is why they were there. Probably not what any of you guys think. But they were huge and instrumental, believe it or not, in getting this done. Now, we provided the bulk of the freaking smash, but the surgical aspect of it was the Israelis, just FYI.
Oh,
This is what's great. Now, what I'm going to do, because I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of comments and a lot of questions, is I want to open up our Discord for you guys to bring up questions on this, because I
I'm
think
gonna try again, and if it's not gonna say what I want you guys to hear, while pretending I don't think this way,
terrain that isolates the location.
I give up.
They're going to have, and remember, you've got freaking Rocket City right over here, right on the left side. They're going to have indirect fire assets trained on that. They're going to have besieged forces all within the city scattered to get there. And there's multiple routes in the PM Eastern is when Iran has for a deadline to open the strait, basically to stop attacking ships and to like make an official announcement, because it's not like they have a blockade, they're just blowing stuff up. So Iran
Oh
has
my
until 7
God,
p.m.
I
Eastern
hate thinking.
tomorrow night
I
to open it.
agree.
And
We
he's
all
announced we're
do.
going after their energy infrastructure. We're going to be bombing all of those plants. And I promise when that happens, because the other thing that came out this weekend, which is
No, come
such a big pain in
on.
the butt.
Where is the
All
part
it
I
takes
want
is,
you guys
as soon as I got proposed the
to
other day, was
hear?
like, okay, well, do we want to allow like basically the country to just spin into chaos?
Ah!
In my opinion, that's fine. It's not very
I
good for the people.
disagree with
Let them fight for
everything he says here.
Get a bunch of guns in there, let them go do it, let the country spin into chaos. We've already killed multiple levels of their leadership. Hell, the like chief intel officer for the IRGC just got schwacked today. Right? Like we just continue to knock these guys out. I saw unconfirmed reports that the old Ayatollah, the second Ayatollah, got like he's dead, like he died in his hospital bed.
No, wait,
So
that's not
what's
the
going to happen is a
point.
very good question, but the country is being ripped apart. They're not going to come to the table on the strait because the
No,
key
no, no.
plan
You
Iran has for a
I
deadline
think
to
I
open
skipped it.
we've got
No,
Kurds
where's
over in
the part?
Solomania, over inside of Iraq. My thought process would be one of these main routes that's going from Iraq into Iran. Those Kurds are not going to take, Tehran. Their job is to go in. This is what I think. Their job is to go in, plow an opening, and then you have, instead of people walking back and forth across the border, you have a main supply route that's now secured, and we're going to start funneling in weapons to the Kurds over inside of Western Iran. Not to overthrow the government, but to be a huge pain in their butt. Because then you're going to be drawing out.
Butt makes sense. Isn't the second Ayatollah gay? I think you meant the third, but I think the second one was also gay. And there are a lot of Ayatollahs, so probably Supreme Leader Ayatollah. I think the second and the third one were gay, and the first one was like he wrote how to do it with infants in a book. So
IRGC forces and stuff from Tehran, besieged forces from around, they're gonna have to come out of their caves, and we're just gonna be bombing them and blasting them from the sky. And we'll allow the Kurds to keep going and expanding, doing whatever the hell it is that they're doing. Around the time that crap happens, I would expect to see some sort of an uprising. I do, other than just the Kurds. But I expect to see like that other faction that split from the IRGC coming off and a lot of infighting taking place. One of the questions that got proposed the other day was like, okay, well, do we want to allow like basically the country to just spin into chaos? In my opinion, that's fine. It's not very good for the people on the ground, but let them fight for their freedom. Get a bunch of guns in there, let them go do it, let the country spin into chaos. We've already killed multiple levels of their leadership. Hell, the like chief intel officer for the IRGC just got schwacked today. Right? Like we just continue to knock these guys out. I saw unconfirmed reports that the old Ayatollah, the second Ayatollah, got like he's dead, like he died in his hospital bed.
Well, I think you got my
point,
right?
Question, but the country's being ripped apart. They're not going to come to the table on the strait because they can't.
Those who followed.
So yeah, that's
you
what
get
I
my
think
gist, right?
James says it's amazing what the U.S. military can accomplish when the politicians don't interfere. Exactly. I got a feeling under.
You guys, you get me, right? Like I don't need to spell it out for you. Read between the lines, like like he said. I basically shoot it for you. So I hope you get it. Yeah, the crying face makes me believe you understood what I'm saying. So there you go. So yeah, and just some amusement before we all go to sleep because we're tired. Let's watch some things I kept here. So this is the Kurdistan Freedom Party getting bombed. Iranian, this is whatever. So check this out. This is crazy.
Excuse me, quick question.
Yeah.
What makes you happy?
What makes me happy? The beach.
The beach?
Yeah.
Where are you from, bro?
I'm from Norway.
What's your name?
Hamza.
Check this
My
out.
middle name is Hamza, but my first name is Christian.
Christian?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Are you Christian?
I don't know if the music is gonna get me in trouble.
No, I'm actually Muslim.
Wait, what?
Yes, I'm pausing it because I feel like there is a chance that the music is gonna get me in trouble.
Yeah.
You're Muslim?
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
You're white guy and you Muslim.
Yeah, for sure the music is gonna get me in trouble. You guys read it.
Crazy. Yeah. What's your purpose in life?
Jihad, obviously. Jihad. Why is it such a good example for the Ummah? Jihad. For the younger jihad. Jihad. Look at this guy, new jihadist in the world. Oh no, you guys are gay now. Oh, oh no, not Alhamdulillah. This is why I believe in God. So there is always a creator. Why did you choose the worst creator then, Muhammad? Couldn't you choose a better one? Can you imagine like someone like that comes to you and then it's like, oh, I'm Muslims. Ugh, Alhamdulillah. Ugh. It's like such a turn off. uh, I do you think then nobody is better painter than Allah? Ew, 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 ew. Oh, I'm sorry. No, you know, I have a story. There's somebody who was very, very pretty that I was a friend, like I wasn't friends with, but was with me in the army. And the more I got to know her and her awful personality, the less I thought she was pretty. That's how bad the personality affected my perception of her looks. And now like the more I say, the more it's like the less and less attractive. It's like, oh, now he's really ugly. It's like really ugly. This is Israeli. This is pretty. Look at that. Look at that. Oh no. This is the largest naval base in Bushar, Israeli Air Force. Sometimes videos like that get me in trouble with YouTube. YouTube, this is a flower, a gray flower. Yes. This is just like it's dust and it's like just it's not real. I don't know. You would I convert to Islam to marry a man like that? I told you he's ugly. Like the more he talks, the more ugly he looks. So do you think I'll convert? Why? Brother, brother, nah, 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 another, yeah. This is the lots of pretty stuff. Oh, this is so funny. This channel is a channel 13, and it's basically the Al Jazeera of Israel. And they just interviewed people who got struck by a missile, and this guy was like, "I love Bibi." It's so hilarious because it's like, it's like, it's channel 13. It's like, it's basically the channel that never ever wants to show an option that somebody. You guys, I don't know if it's so funny to them if you're Israeli. Baby, we love you. And to this, until like finish the job, basically. It's so funny. It's so funny. I just thought it so. Oh, here's another conversation which is 5 minutes long on why I'm the Americans. So okay, so the main claim here is that this is who is this bro? Who is this?
ليش الامريكي قرر ان
Okay, it's somebody from the Gulf states, I guess. So, Kuwait is from Kuwait. So he says, why did the war start now? Even if a robot was, even if Trump would have been replaced with a robot, the American government would have went to war against Iran now. So it's actually explaining like geopolitically why it doesn't even matter who the president of America is. America would have started a war against Iran now, like they would have to. And this is for so this is I'll just share it. I'll just repost it, but I guess it's Hebrew subtitles. No, like I am losing. Okay, so you guys are all tired, I think, right? So looks like you are. Yes, so just oh, you know what? I'll instead of doing this, I'll quote it, and I'll just ask, do you want me to translate? And then just answer, and then I would know whether to do it like next live. this thing. And here is this is the finish. This is the finish
Have a
note I
chance.
wanted
They
to
get
do,
shot down.
because we cannot ignore this big bunny. Big bunny.
Said
and
normally when you're in very hostile territory, and I don't think it gets much more hostile than Iran, they're capable fighters. They're very tough people. And there are others like that. You don't mind when the enemy is weak, but that enemy is strong. Not so strong like they were about a month ago, I can tell you. In fact, right now, they're not too strong at all, in my opinion, but we're soon going to find out, aren't we? But when a thing like that happens, where a pilot shot down, in most instances, you're really not able to go in, because you'll go in with 200 people and lots of jet fighters and helicopters, and you really don't have a chance. They get
I'm
shot
not
down.
listening at all. I'm just looking at the bunny. It's a bunny. It's a rabbit, whatever it is. I don't know why in my brain it's like I feel like it should be made out of chocolate. I think it should, like, I don't know, my brain thinks chocolate, chocolate, it's chocolate. It's not chocolate, you stupid brain. And by the way, I saw you, first console. I'm gonna quit before my nose gets red. That's because it's gonna get red real soon.
Down, you lose 200 in order to
Okay,
pick
you
up
know
one.
what?
It's a
I'm not gonna risk it. It might get red at any moment now. So I'm just gonna say good night, everybody. So why does everyone think the IRGC is so strong? It's not that they're strong, they're scattered. They think that the ground is strong, actually, like the geography is strong, not that the IRGC is strong. All right, it's not that the IRGC is strong, it's that they are there are a lot of like things to hide beneath. Good night, everybody. Will I stream tomorrow? No, tomorrow is holiday. It's it's like a Sabbath, I think. So no, from what I remember. So no, but I'll stream in a couple of days. Good night, everybody. Wait, Lila Town. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Yes.